after being blackballed and ostracized. I think she was starting to figure out that her home had been breached. 3 months later, she died. And she died on her son's birthday.
It's so sad.
Her son, D'Angelo, who was full of...
Listen, I know this is shocking, but Jaguar is already here, and you can be sure she has strong opinions about what happened to Angie Stone. One thing's for sure, Jaguar doesn't believe it's just a coincidence that Angie passed away only weeks after speaking out against the same people she's been calling out for years. Next, voice 2. We all wanted to believe Angie Stone's passing was just a tragic accident, but with everything coming to light, things are starting to look suspicious.
As I was coming through all of this, I soon found out that one of the biggest companies that I was with, Universal Music, it's the second part of the ugly truth. We began to research things to check on my royalties and my statements and things that of that nature, only to find out a lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen.
We all wanted to believe Angie Stone's passing was just a tragic accident, but with everything coming to light, things are starting to look suspicious. To make it even more questionable, a witness claimed they helped Sumponasibly Angie Wright after the initial crash. This matches the two collision theory shared by Al E.A., describing the chaos when an 18-wheeler hit the van she was in. But here's the strange part: no one can find the witness's video on her TikTok anymore. After some digging, I found something interesting. Next, voice 3. So why was the video deleted? Was the witness threatened? Are they even safe?
Here's the story. About 4 a.m. on Saturday morning, me and my daughter were driving to Charleston, South Carolina for her Sweet 16 birthday getaway. We came up to a truck with a trailer and its flashers were on, so we slowed down some, and that's when I noticed there was an overturned vehicle in the fast lane. And it looked like it just happened. I pulled over, I put my flashers on, and I told my daughter to stay in the car, and I ran over. It was a van, and I ran over, and there were so many people in this van, and they were just trying to get out, and I asked if they'd called the cops, and they said, we're just trying to get out. And they were helping this woman out off the side of the van, and I grabbed her hand and I helped her get down, and she seemed out of it, and I was holding her hand and she was wobbling around, and I said, baby, you got to sit down. And then the next thing I know, I flew and I fell down to the ground, and it felt like something not ran over me but brushed over me. Like something just swiped over my body, and I got up and I could hear screaming, and I just focused in on one screaming, and it was my daughter.
So why was the video deleted? Was the witness threatened? Are they even safe? And is this whole situation something bigger, just like Jaguar suggested? Meanwhile, Tyler Perry gave a whole sermon about how black artists deserve fair pay, and Monique couldn't help but respond, basically saying, "Sir, am I a joke to you?" A lot has been happening, and I hope you're ready for this. Reports say Angie Stone was traveling in the back of a van from Alabama to Atlanta when it flipped and was hit by an 18-wheeler. Everyone else in the van survived, but Angie didn't. According to the Alabama Highway Patrol, the crash happened at 4:25 a.m. on the 1st of March. The 2021 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van overturned on Interstate 65 before being struck by a Freightliner Cascadia truck driven by a 33-year-old man from Texas. The driver and 7 others were taken to Baptist Medical Center, but Angie was pronounced dead at the scene. At first, it seemed like a tragic accident, but in the days following her death, people started questioning the official story. Some posts claimed there was number 18-wheeler involved, others suggested the crash was staged, and some even speculated that the passengers might be covering up the truth.
A walking testimony that God has carried me all this time, because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly. But there are key people that have been driving the ships. And what they've been doing is improperly representing me, improperly stealing from me, taking things in their own hand, changing and switching lanes because they knew I didn't know that part. See, I'm not an attorney. I don't know everything. What I learned how to do was go out, work hard, get paid, come home, pay my bills, take care of my family. That part. The legal side, when you hire attorneys and managers and agents, they're supposed to make sure the gray area over there, that they're in the driver's seat for.
Angie also made it clear that she was doing everything in her power to make sure she got paid for her life's work, not just for herself, but for her children and grandchildren. She claimed that many of her songs weren't properly registered by the company she had signed them over to, which meant she never got the royalties she deserved. She also mentioned multiple class action lawsuits involving her music, further exposing the industry's shady practices. Angie said a team was actively investigating the situation, and though she acknowledged she was getting older, she wanted to warn younger artists about the industry's hidden...
Just here to let you know, one way or the other, Universal Music, you're going to have to give up my coins. And so what I'm doing now is whatever is necessary to make sure they pay me for the legacy of my life, for my children and my grandchildren. They're going to have to give me my money. I mean, when you sit back and think Bruno Mars, Dr. Dre, when you think about all these people that have sampled music, if they're filthy rich on it, what's our problem? Or my problem? Oh, yeah. So you got to get a diesel crew, and I call them a diesel crew, to go in and rectify the issue.
Now ask yourself, Angie Stone is gone, so who's making sure UMG pays what they owe her? Do you think her children or family will have the strength to fight this battle? Or will this case just fade away
I looked up, and there was an 18-wheeler that had crossed the median into the other, into oncoming traffic, and I knew that's what hit me and ran over, and brushed over me was the 18-wheeler. And my daughter's freaking out. She'd already called my husband by then and my father-in-law. And I just told her we've got to get to the hospital. I can't breathe. It was so hard to breathe. I'm going to post a video of the 18-wheeler after I left the hospital, driving back through to get to my husband and my son. I will not be posting the vehicle in the video because somebody did pass away. They did. And I won't be posting that for respect for their family.
Angie Stone's death has also reopened old wounds for some, including Monique, who shared her thoughts on Instagram. Tyler Perry delivered a powerful eulogy at Angie's memorial, part heartfelt tribute, part harsh critique of the music industry. While honoring Angie, he also called out the system that has exploited artists for years, denying them the financial compensation they rightfully deserved. Next Voice 7. Tyler Perry didn't just speak as a filmmaker and media mogul at Angie Stone's memorial, he spoke as someone who knows the industry's dark side. He acknowledged how artists like Angie, who shaped generations with their music, often never saw the earnings they deserved. During his speech, he even referenced Angie's song $20**, a haunting reminder of financial hardship. The lyrics reflected the struggle she faced, creating timeless music while barely making ends meet. He used the song to highlight a bigger issue, how countless artists, especially black musicians, have been denied fair pay while corporations profit from their work. But Monique wasn't about to let Tyler's words slide without calling out his own actions. She took to Instagram, first offering her condolences to Angie's family, then addressing her own grievances with,
"Y'all gotta forgive me because I'm angry at the way she was treated. I did not know all the things that she was going through. Recently, I found out because I'm not on Instagram. I'm not being hooked and manipulated by an algorithm telling me what to think and how to feel. So I don't see everything. But to think that this woman was in the business for all of these years, and there's a difference between performing because you want to and performing because you have to. All of those years, all of those songs, all of that money that was owed to her, where is it? It's wrong. It is wrong. And I'm tired of seeing us struggle and go through things and work hard and not reap the benefits of what we were supposed to reap.